Club of Miami will be presenting the 53rd Annual Dr. Jack Griffitts Police of the Year Award. Without further ado, Norm?
Here. Ready to be here on this occasion and to share with you the pleasures of recognizing people who every hour, every day protect us. Just a quick history of how this all got started. But some 54 years ago, the Chief of Police, Walter Headley, and Dr. Jack Griffitts, who was a member of our club, they had a common interest. The interest, we believe, from reading our bulletins, were horses. And where the Sylvester Cancer Institute is now, that was the old police academy back in the 50s. And there were the horses. And one of the horses were not city horse. We have to, being in the recruit class at the time, you had to clean out the horses' stalls every Friday. We believe from reading the bulletins in our club that Chief Headley and the doctor got together, approached our board and asked the board if they were to provide $50,000 that would go to the outstanding police officer of the city of Miami, as determined from the monthly reports. Would the club accept the money and make sure that it was well cared for? Which of course we did. And 54 years ago we began recognizing the outstanding city of Miami police officer. And there have been some really outstanding police officers. But today, of all of the ones that I've done, since my boss, Dr. Joe Davis, passed away, who was a medical examiner, I have never read one like I am going to give with you today. So bear with me. This deals with a detective whose name is Erica Sakaris. The sergeant who wrote this, or the commander, really caught the essence. This is the OK Corral shootout. This is Wyatt Earp, Virgil Earp, Doc Holliday taking on the bad guys. On April the 24th, in the year 2000, at 1:57 in the morning, Detective Erica Sakaris of the Tactical Robbery Unit was patrolling a known violent hotspot in an unmarked black Charger. When she began to follow a white sedan, which had just departed from Northwest 50th Street and 18th Avenue. The driver of the sedan, after noticing the detective's vehicle behind him, made several turns throughout the immediate vicinity of the area of the initial contact, but ultimately the vehicle would return to Northwest 50th Street, where the detective was lured into an ambush. As the vehicle approached 50th Street, the white sedan came to a halt, and one of the occupants of the sedan motioned toward the detective's vehicle and shouted out, "Drop the car." At that point, a Mr. Abatron Womble and others who were standing there opened fire, and within seconds, some 23 to 25 shots were fired. One of the vehicle that the detective was in was hit 9 times, but she got behind the vehicle to protect herself because now the shooters were on both sides of her. Firing a total of 6 shots, the detective struck Mr. Womble, who was one of the shooters. As the detective returned the fire, the white sedan, still occupied by several subjects, including the one who directed the others to open fire, fled westbound on 50th Street. The detective then notified shots fired on her police radio, advised the other members of the Tactical Robbery Unit, and all of the people in that vehicle were apprehended. It was only after assisting her teammates in detaining the sedan's occupants that she informed them that her vehicle had been riddled with bullet holes. Not knowing if she had been struck, she asked her teammates to visually inspect her to ensure that she was not wounded. It was then, at that time, that they realized that the electronic control device on her belt had deflected a bullet that would have gone through into her and probably been a disaster. After a thorough investigation by the Miami Police Homicide Unit, the Internal Affairs Unit, as well as the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Mr. Womble confessed to firing on Detective Sakaris' vehicle. He was arrested and is now facing charges for attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and on and on. During the fateful moment of April the 24th, the detective was forced to make a split-second life and death decision. She is alive today and serving the people of Miami because of her tactical expertise, courage under fire, and the dogged determination to fight and prevail against all odds. And it is with deep honor that the Rotary Club of Miami wants to recognize this. And Detective, you'll come forward, please. I have a check for you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you to the Rotary Club of Miami. I'm honored to receive such a high award, and I thank everybody that participated in apprehending the subjects that night, that the canines and everybody else that was there. So I'm deeply honored, and to the chief, thank you very much for everybody, and I'm grateful to be able to be here today to accept this award.
One more. This is yours to keep. And here to our left is a bit plaque that will be kept here in the lobby. And your name was just recently added to it. And I'm sure I would like to have the chief come forward and perhaps add a few more words to this event. Please, Chief.
Thank you. And like Erica just mentioned, I too am so grateful to the Rotary Club for all your years of recognizing our officers, really for decades. I was just reminded that back in 1971, we had an officer, Jerry Green, that many know, who won the award from the Rotary Club, went on to be Officer of the Year, recognized by the ACP, nationally, Parade Magazine Officer of the Year. So there's a lot of rich tradition with many, many officers that have gone above and beyond that have been recognized by the Rotary Club. And so I am eternally grateful to you all for this. And of course, I'm grateful for the officers that come every day and perform that the way that they do in this police department. There is no doubt in my mind that this is the finest police department in this country. And I'm not saying that just because I'm the chief of police for this department, but because of the work that I see them do every day. And what Erica did that day is the same thing that she'll do tomorrow and the day after. Like any of these officers, especially those there in the back, they're going to do whatever they have to do every day to keep this city safe. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. And I'm so honored that you guys continue to do this every year. Your consistency, your dedication, the fact that you step out and you recognize our officers, like really, quite frankly, not too many people do. You guys are always there for us. So thank you, Norman, and thank you all. And I'm very grateful on behalf of the police department. Thank you.
We're going to do a second award. And this award is very unique. We have never done anything like this before. Our club is 104 years old. Rotary is even older. The award we're about to give is always given to a human being. But today we're going to recognize a unit within the police department that, thank God, they're there. Just a quick story. Years ago, I worked in the Metro Dade. On the 4th floor of a warehouse, which was deserted, there was something going on. And we pulled up, and a dog and the handler showed up. And he said, wait a minute, don't go in there. They let the dog go up. And thank God that dog went up, because there were 2 bad guys up there with shotguns. And that day, I fell in love with the canine. So when this crossed my desk and I read it, I said, we got to recognize this puppy, Dona. And so today we have a second award, which Phil Syke, a past president of our club, and our present treasurer, and we're checking the checkbook now to make sure, is here, and he's going to handle that portion of the award. Okay?
Thank you, Norm. So when Norm told me about this, I said, we've got to do something. Rotary has an award called the Paul Harris Fellow, named after the founder of Rotary International. And with the help of District Governor Robin Shelley, who's here with us today, we set out to secure a Paul Harris Fellow Award for Canine Officer Kona. We were immediately told, you can't do that. It has to be a human. Robin researched it and found out that a California dog had also been awarded this back in 2012, I think it was. So we said, what the heck, let's do it. Beg for forgiveness afterwards if something's wrong. So today, it is our privilege. This also signifies that $1,000 has been donated to Rotary International in the dog's name. So, the handler, if you'll come up.
Richard, Mike, come on up.
Here is your. This will be framed along with the medal, and we have a medal for the dog. And we have a clip. We need a photo op with the medal.
Megan. Oh, that dog's beautiful.
We also wanted to do something for the dog, so we decided that the dog needed a little stipend for dog food. So we decided to award $250. Norm Kassoff, tell the story.
Well, I was in Publix a few weeks ago while I was thinking of the incident with the dog. And two Metro-Dade brown downers came in, and I was talking to them about the drop. And somehow I was telling them about this award. And the male reached into his wallet, handed me $50. And then the female reached into her wallet, and she handed me $50. They said, if you're going to do that award, make sure they get it for the dog. So that's
$350.
$350. Thanks from the Metro-Dade Police Department.
Very nice. For the handler, we have the check. This has to be made in the city of Miami, but they'll deposit it and get it back to you. And we have this Paul Harris coin for you to carry.
Well, folks, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We hope we didn't keep you too long. Again, Chief, we thank you so much for the hospitality of being here. It's indeed an honor to be with such an august group. And really, you think of it, every hour of every day, you guys help us sleep better and protect our community. And God bless you, all of you, and protect you. Chief, you want to wrap it up?
Sure, thank you. Again, thank you all for coming. And by the way, I know that there was one other dog that has won this award, a California dog, but everybody knows those dogs are far too liberal. Our dogs are far superior. And so we got the best here. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you for attending. And thanks again, Rotary Club.